you stand for something because you know the consequences if you don't. I mean, I know that because I've seen what happened to my people and how other people can be exploited if you don't stand for something. My African American ancestors did, and celebrities of African Americans who stood for Palestinian families, their families got upset at them, with Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali. Martin Luther King was the only person who was silent because he was arrested with 14 rabbis.
American Jews played a key role in the founding and funding of some of the most important civil rights organizations. Just after Cheney, Goodman, and Schwimmer disappeared, 17 rabbis were arrested alongside Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
All the black people in this country have been the victims of violence at the hands of the white man for 400 years. And following the ignorant Negro preachers, we have thought that it was godlike to turn the other cheek to the brute that was brutalizing us. The white man pays Reverend Martin Luther King, subsidizes Reverend Martin Luther King, so that Reverend Martin Luther King can continue to teach the Negroes to be defensive.
And they decided that it would be wise to establish a separate state in Israel.
And all of the world powers got together, the white world powers, I should say, got together and helped all of these white Jews to establish a separate state in the heart of dark-skinned people's territory.
Did the Zionists have the legal or moral right to invade Arab Palestine, uproot its Arab citizens from their homes, and seize all Arab property for themselves, just based on the religious claim that their forefathers lived there thousands of years ago? Only 1,000 years ago, the Moors lived in Spain. Would this give the Moors of today the legal and moral right to invade the Iberian Peninsula, drive out its Spanish citizens, and then set up a new Moroccan nation, where Spain used to be, as the European Zionists have done to Arab brothers and sisters in Palestine?
The Palestinian struggle is not just a cry for justice. It's a blistering battle for the most fundamental human rights that every living soul on this planet should inherit by birthright. It's an unyielding resistance against the oppressive, suffocating grip of occupation and the callous denial of the most basic human dignity. Just as the civil rights movement in the United States fought against the chains of racial discrimination, so too do the Palestinian people strive to shatter the chains of occupation and tyranny. Never forget, my friends, that the Palestinians, much like African Americans in the United States, have been subjected to a heart-wrenching history of suffering and torment. The birth of Israel in 1948 brought forth the mass expulsion and dispossession of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their ancestral homes and land. This is a historic injustice.
The legal foundation of the State of Israel is what is known as the Balfour Declaration. This declaration was issued in 1917. A man in the government of Britain named Balfour wrote a paper and promised the Jews a national home. The national home he promised them was an area which Britain was colonizing, Palestine. Palestine didn't belong to the British. Just like Ireland doesn't belong to the British, even though they have troops there. But here, these British imperialists signed a note and gave it to the Jews, and they accepted it. Where is the morality for this? If you say that Israel belongs to you, then you don't go to a thief to get Israel, you go and take it. Of course, as an African who suffered under the heels of British imperialism, I can have no love for it, and certainly I cannot love anyone who attaches themselves to it for the foundation of a state and then call this a liberation movement. Liberation movements fight against imperialism, not with it. As a matter of fact, today, Zionism is the baby, child, and infant protector of imperialism in the Middle East. It carries out the interests of American imperialism. As a matter of fact, Zionism and American imperialism is like this. If our tax dollars would stop giving money to Israel, the state would sink tomorrow.
Why should a black man in America care about what's going on in these other places when we're still fighting for a lot of civil liberties here?
Because it's not an either-or claim. I got that, too, in the last couple of weeks. Yo, why you over in Palestine all the time?
It makes sense. I understand why people would say that.
Do something for black people.
If black people are so effed up here, why fight somebody else's fight?
Right, and I guess, one, I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? Like, I can fight for black people here and struggle abroad. But again, there's a relationship between the two. The New York City police, they're killing us. But they're being trained by Israeli security forces. So Israeli police,
really?
Yes, they're being trained on New York City police and in other cities as well. So there's a connection between the two. Malcolm X cared about this issue. Malcolm X is my hero. So when Malcolm X cared about this issue, when he wrote a piece on this in the Egyptian Gazette called Zionist Logic, I cared in the fall of '64. I cared because Malcolm cared. Malcolm, and everybody here, go back and listen to Message to the Grassroots, when Malcolm is talking about what a revolution looks like. And he was talking about us being connected globally, right? That's why I care about this issue. The Black Panthers cared about this issue. SNCC cared about this issue in the summer of '67. There's a lot of people, black freedom fighters, who we admire. People say, be like Malcolm, be like Assad. People want to march and be like Huey. People want to be like Angela. They all cared about Palestine.
Israelis bankrolled him. But the Freemasons didn't want him around. They removed him, despite Israel paying for him and subsidizing him. Money is a lot of people's God, and that's the danger with these things when you only live for yourself. African Americans who are Christians care about Israel, but unless they walk out in Tel Aviv, from the liberal part to the conservative part, which is Jerusalem, they may get a conservative reminder that they don't like Jesus Christ.
Christian citizens feel attacked in their places of prayer, in their cemeteries and on the streets.
Christians in Jerusalem's Old City say they are often harassed, spit on, and even physically attacked by religious Jewish youth.
I view this phenomenon as extreme and unacceptable in any shape or form. This phenomenon needs to be uprooted.
Earlier incidents include the desecration of a Protestant cemetery on Mount Zion, an attack on international Christians during a day of prayer for Jerusalem, and harassment at a Messianic concert in Jerusalem.
We must respect the members of all religions.
You're going to go to jail because the police here, 99% conviction rate. Shut up.
We don't do anything illegal. You cannot take us to jail. If you are not involved, please go. To honor God, that is the godly thing to do. We respect one another.
The godly thing to do is to kill you.
The godly thing is to kill me.
That's right.
Yes?
That's what the Torah says.
The Torah says to kill us.
The Torah says that people who worship idols such as yourself, when there is a Sanhedrin,
to kill us.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the Torah says.
So we know how the Jewish people feel about Christians, yes? That you discriminate against Christians.
Christians are idol worshippers.
You discriminate against Christians.
The Torah says that Christianity is idol worship.
You asshole, you suck. You and you fucking Jesus could kiss my ass, okay? Go away. Screw you. Go. Don't camera, no camera. I break your camera. Don't take picture. Okay? Screw you, you Nazi. You fuck. Don't take camera. I break your camera. Don't take picture. Shabbat shalom. No picture. We don't want picture.
Leave. You need to. You can't come in here. This is not your house.
This is not your house. We killed Jesus. We're proud of it. Where are you?
Did you record that?
Get the fuck out of here. This is my land, you
This is not your land. It belongs to these families.
land, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna kill you and the Palestinians. You Nazi, you son of a shit. Hand for there. This is my land. God gave it to me. Fuck you. Nazi. Call everyone you want. I'll kill you. Bastard. This is my house. This is my land. God gave it to me. And fuck you.
King and his wife visited Israel in 1959, and he had hoped to return in 1968 with thousands of his people.
His plan was to bring about 3,000 African Americans, and he had 600 that signed up right away. And unfortunately, he was killed before he could come.
Now, 55 years later, that same number join it here to march and to help fulfill his dream.
Lift every voice and sing.
It's really kind of a prophetic sign for us, you know, just to see that exact number being fulfilled now in 2023. So it's amazing.
Hey guys, if you want to watch more clips, click here.
And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here.